Hello and welcome back to Valis for the Sega Genesis, and this is a video about failure. Something I forgot to mention in the previous vid was that some might argue that Valia was just engaging in a kind of tough love to get Yuko to accept and take responsibility for things that were happening in her life. But I didn't especially see that much love there, so it was really just tough. The second point of failure is that this is actually the second time I attempted to record the game. The first time I actually completed the game, but the microphone settings... Ooh, I didn't even know that was there this time. Was the microphone settings on the computer were such that none of the actual game audio recorded, so I had to start the whole thing over. And that turned out to actually be a bit of a blessing, as you are spared some indignities like me actually getting lost in the level I'm on now. Another thing about this recording is that this will contain 3 levels, as there are no cutscenes to comment on or take up time or anything, so it'll be all gameplay from here. This is actually one of the more open levels in the game, and there's plenty to find if you take the time to explore, but I wanted to rush through to keep the video time fairly low. Anyway, as you can see, enemies have started getting more durable, and I don't really like the music in these coming levels. Oh, that slide animation. Well, at least it's more dignified than the turbo one. Yeah, lava doesn't even kill us. Well, it does damage, but it doesn't really kill us. Yeah, considering some of the particulars of the spriting of the Turbo remake of this game, I think we really should have seen the hentai game coming. That was a regrettable choice of words, but the show must go on. And we have our first new sword. Our power has reset to 1, but that's not such a big deal since this sword has rather powerful projectiles. We give up the 3-way shot, but power is what we really need in this game for the most part. Most enemies really aren't that hard to hit. See? Easy. I think this is probably the longest level in the game now, next to the final level. Oh, do I circle around here? Oh, I hope not. Yeah, Magic Slide can't clear all gaps on its own. Anyway, we should be coming up on the boss soon. Now, I think they might have thought of having some kind of boss weakness system early on. For example, the ice shot we got from the previous boss will actually instantly nullify the boss's fire shield, leaving her open to our attacks. However, they didn't really follow through on it for later bosses. Speaking of the fire shield, we now have it, and I am going to abuse the hell out of it. Birds, bane of all platformers. threat. Ah, here we are. We are now at the only instant death pits in the whole game. They are, however, guarded by birds, so things can get a bit interesting if you're not careful. Well, that was pointless. Jump. We have now passed the only instant death pits in the whole game. Because spells tend to cost a lot of MP, even like the earliest ones like Earthquake, it's really just best to save magic for the bosses unless you really know the power-up layout of the levels. And even then, they won't always give you a whole lot of MP before the boss. Speaking of bosses, we should be coming up on this one. Stages usually aren't all that long in this game. Magic set. And our boss is Azard. The only boss name I can really remember because he actually has a cutscene after you beat him in the Turbo remake where he has quite a lengthy conversation with Yuko. And the main reason it's memorable to me is because he periodically spurts blood while he's having this conversation. In case, what really makes this boss annoying is that barrier that he can seemingly just summon at will and only really discards when he's about to throw the boomerangs. I dodged one tornado, go me. Because of his variety of attacks, he's always a dangerous boss, really. They repeated the music again? We just had this! At least in Valis 4 Turbo, they repeated the good music. Anyway, I'd like to give a bit of acknowledgement to the other people who have Let's Played this game before me, such as Valis HD and Kikoskia, or however you pronounce that. But really, just because other people have Let's Played a game doesn't mean you shouldn't give it a try, because everyone really has their own unique takes on games that they've played, and that's really what LPs are about, you know, aside from being things like walkthroughs and so on. The shot type I just passed up there is the homing shot. While some people swear by it, I find that it's a little bit lacking in power compared to the sword that I have now, and as I said before, power is what you really need, and most enemies are not actually all that hard to hit. Falling bricks. These are barely distinguishable because of how they run up against each other as you scroll the screen. So, you'll pretty often get hit by them. However, they only do 1 damage out of 32, so it's not the end of the world if you get hit by them. I mean, well, if you get hit by all of them, that might be a problem, but again, it's really only bosses that are the threat in this game. Especially the upcoming one. I don't even know how many tries it took me to beat him. Oh yeah, sewer pipe. Important. It's not part of the background no matter how much it looks like it is. Flying fish just took a bit too far. I'm already max power for my sword. Why did I even stick around and fight those? I never claimed that this was a super play of any kind. The more I play this game, though, the more this really feels like an apology for the truly horrendous earlier versions of Valis 1, like for the MSX. Like they realized this one would have to be enjoyable, and, well, here I am playing it, so draw your own conclusions. And I do like Yuko's character design, aside from the armor even, because even though it might seem painfully generic nowadays, there's something to be said for simplicity, which may also be why I like Adol Kristen from East. Besides, it's events that distinguish a character more than anything anyway, right? In case, this is the last section before the boss, and we will get dumped right on the boss when we encounter it, and you will see what I mean. I do mean this literally. But we look to be in top shape for the encounter, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And here we are, I think. Yep. Okay, a couple of things about this boss. 2 heads, keeping the flame ring. Shoots projectiles, of course. Oh, damn it, I wanted to save that for later. Now, there's a special thing about this boss. You see, that Giga Thunder attack will instantly hit you for quite a bit of damage if you do not have the fire shield up. There is no way to avoid it, no matter how much it looks like you can. So you have to block it with the fire shield, otherwise you get hit. There's no real way around it, and this is the first of 2 bosses where they have an instantly hitting screen-filling attack. Anyway, that's a wrap for that level, and we'll be encountering the other one next.